Hey everybody, we are
Sol3
Mio.
Mio. And thanks for watching Music News.
Sol3 Mio, it's a pleasure to meet you all again.
Good to see you again.
Good stuff.
Thanks for having us.
For our viewers, could you introduce yourselves, please, individually?
Sure.
Yes, my name is Penny Patti.
My name is Moses Mackay.
And I am Amitai Patti.
Hey, great stuff. Since we last met, you've gone 6 times platinum. You're continuing to charm the UK on your offensive. How's it all going?
It's a lot of fun.
It took a while to answer. It was like,
How is it going?
We've been back and forth between New Zealand and the UK for quite some time now, and I think the promotional journey that we've been on so far has been amazing. We've gotten to see a lot of the different venues around the UK, especially in London, and we've gotten to perform. We've been able to perform for a number of different occasions, and it's been amazing for us as a group just to be able to get out there and share our music with the rest of the wider UK.
Yeah. I mean, you've been sort of stunning, taking your stunning sounds into the schools and nursing homes as well, which is a great idea, and something you've had a lot of practice at in the past, I guess.
We've done a lot of stuff back in New Zealand. My mum is an occupational therapist, so she works with a lot of people with dementia and the elderly people, and she used to get me in to perform for a lot of them, which was great. She made me go in by force, and I kind of went in and did my thing and came out with a black eye. And the boys had a similar story, and their father was a manager of a rest home. They performed there for a long number of years. And so, we have this sense of humanity and this sense of giving, always giving, and it's always something that it's not just us that have done it, it's our parents that have instilled this idea into our heads. And so to be able to come here to the UK and be able to do the same thing and share our music, share our love, and it's been an amazing journey, and we're just excited to be able to do such an awesome thing.
Fantastic. You're throwing your hat into the ring for the Christmas #1, we hear. Have yourself a very Merry Christmas. Why that particular tune, and a great rendition, by the way?
It's quite funny. The Have Yourself a Merry Christmas is one that kind of resonated with the three of us, and at the same time it was something nice and simple. We didn't want anything, as you can tell if you listen to the track, it's just the guitar, very nice, easy, chilled. And I think that conveys perfectly what Christmas is about. It's not overdone, it's just a nice family feel, everyone has a nice sing, and everybody loves a good song, Christmas song that they can sing to, but at the same time, and not just listen to it and be like, oh, let me try and catch this tune. So that, for us, sits perfectly, and I think it sits perfectly for everyone else as well.
Yeah, no, great. So it's you got the album out this week as well?
Hey!
Oh, look at that!
Where did this come from?
We have an album. Holy moly!
So another fine collection of songs. How do you work out what goes on? Which renditions, are they sort of personal favourites, or?
The songs are kind of like our musical journey. The thing I love about this album is that we actually chose the songs ourselves. We actually put this whole album together ourselves, which for a lot of artists is quite a feat actually, because usually it's people have all the inputs from companies, record companies, from audiences. This is fully done. It was fully chosen by us. We chose the order, we chose the songs, and it's everything that had made Sol3 Mio. I mean, it starts off with our swan song, Sol3 Mio, and then it goes through all the core classical and the contempt crossover, and it's memories of my mum's favourite song, his dad's favourite song, and just it's a
Which are they?
journey. My mum's favourite song is The Rose by Bette Midler, and his dad's favourite song is The Pearlfishers from The Pearlfishers. The Pearlfishers duet.
Man.
Superb.
Yeah, it sounds like an awesome album.
Yeah, no, it's who worked hardest on the album then? Out of you three?
Well, so obviously, this.
Usually
you grab the album from your right hand, and then obviously it's just a natural feat. It's just sitting there.
That's the way to do it.
A lot of actually, funny enough, it actually took us really in a really short time. We recorded this album because the three of us knew exactly what we wanted, exactly the sound we wanted. and we went to the studio. Our producer Nick Patrick. We sat down with him and we told him. We just said, this is what we want and this is our style. And he pretty much just chucked us in the room and just said, all right, and go ahead. And a lot of the instruments we are actually playing it. Apart from the orchestral stuff, because you needed quite a few players for those. But a lot of the tracks we are actually playing them, and then we sung them. So we recorded it in about 3 weeks.
Yeah,
less than 3 weeks. It was on our holiday from university, so we were studying in Wales, and then we trained over to Salisbury at the Real World Studios, and that's where we recorded the album.
So when was it actually recorded then?
Last year.
March last year.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Fantastic.
Ancient.
But We Are Samoa is on there too. Although you grew up in New Zealand, there's a lot. You still have a lot strong ties to your heritage then.
Yeah, absolutely. I think New Zealand is a very very diverse country. There are so many different cultures there, and it's kind of like the cultural hub of the southern hemisphere, I guess, because we're so low. Nobody can really get to New Zealand very easily, and we're just surrounded by the Pacific Islands. A lot of Pacific Island people come to New Zealand, and so there are a lot of different cultures there. But for us, having something on the album, a song on the album that represents who we are, where we come from, I think it's something big for us. We want to show people what we can do in terms of being musicians, but at the same time we want to give them some sort of knowledge of who we are as people. We're not just artists, we're people as well, so we can something for them to be able to relate to us with.
You're about to support Alfie Bowen's arena tour, and before headlining your own dates as well next year. Do any nerves creep in? Because you've got such big performances.
No way.
Nah, not really.
Not so much. I think we've gotten enough stage performance time as much as we can. As much time as we can.
You're kidding. I thought it was on silent. I honestly did.
I thought that was me.
So that's a point taken off.
Yep.
Let's cut that spot. Carry on again.
Like I was saying, we've gotten in. I think we've gotten in enough performance time over the last year, and so I think when it comes to performing on stage, I think the most nerve-wracking thing is performing in venues that we've heard of before. So things like the O2, you wouldn't. For us, we definitely wouldn't think of ever having a performance there. Because it's one of those venues that it's kind of like the Albert Hall, When we arrived at the Albert Hall to perform, we kind of just tried to take everything in, but it was really overwhelming.
Exactly.
Time,
so. There's a huge space, and so is the O2.
Yeah.
Have you started working on the second album? I mean, you recorded this quite a long time ago.
I think in the back of our minds, we already know what we want on the second album. In terms of production, we haven't yet put it to pen or anything, but I definitely know that if we decide to put on a second album, I think we know what we want, and it's gonna be out in no time.
Good.
I definitely know that coming up next year, they're going to be releasing our live DVD.
Yeah.
And also we have a book that's going to be released in the near future, so
Super.
definitely look out for those.
What sort of autobiographical history of the band?
It's called Our Story, and it's just literally our story, how we got to where we are now. A lot of people have heard little snippets of how we were raised and from New Zealand and stuff, and so it's a really cool insight. And there's interviews with our parents, our music teachers, and it's just a real homegrown story. And it was really weird reading it. I remember reading it for the first time and holding the book in my hand, thinking, "Man, who is this guy? This is really weird. What a sad life." But no, it's good. It's really interesting. So I can't wait for those to come out. Yeah.
Great stuff. I mean, you're winning over fans with your tremendously strong voices and cheeky charm. Who's the biggest joker out of the three?
The biggest.
Size.
Maybe not size, isn't it?
I don't know. I think we all have our moments. There'll be a day where someone like Peter would crack a joke or Moses will crack a joke, and we kind of just go along with it. So I don't know. Maybe our manager's quite a bit of a joker as well. But
I bet you seem to all have a very good time and a very close relationship. If there's ever a bust up, who's in between?
Oh,
it's usually our manager.
yeah.
It's usually between the three of us and our manager.
You know,
we kind
horns.
of
We always lock horns and
With
stuff.
the record company as well. Which is, no. We have a quite a good relationship, and when we do have a bust up, it's usually every man for himself. So it's kind of either we're all in or we're all
I wouldn't
out.
want to be around for that one. But Moses and Penn, you sang for Andrea Bocelli's choir, and we saw him the other night at the O2, where the same stage you're going to be on. Was he a big inspiration, as it were?
I think he did play a very integral part in what we do, purely because he came in at a certain time of our lives. I mean, I had just left high school, and I had the opportunity to sing in the choir behind Andrea Bocelli, and to be honest, at the time I didn't know who he was. They're like, "Oh, Andrea Bocelli's singing, and they're looking for a choir." And at the time, all three of us were studying at university, doing classical music and singing with the New Zealand Youth Choir, and so it was kind of fitting. It was like, "Oh yeah, may as well." And so we went along, and once we hit the stage in one of the biggest venues in New Zealand, it was amazing. Like the production of it, the orchestra that he brought over. Just the size of it was amazing, and from there was a little seed was planted in my head, and I always wanted to do something similar, and I know that Penny had a similar story. So yeah.
No, fantastic. I mean, what other artists do you draw inspiration from generally then?
I'd probably say in terms of core classical music, would probably get a lot of inspiration. No, actually, we get a lot of inspiration from some of the operatic greats, like people like Pavarotti, Domingo, like the three tenors in particular. Those guys are amazing.
We aren't the three tenors, I'm just saying.
We're two tenors and a baritone. just to clear the air there.
Yeah.
But those guys for us are a huge inspiration because they took like this core operatic music and took it to the masses. People who hadn't heard much about it or weren't really too interested about it. They brought their own flavor to it, but at the same time they kept true to the operatic music. So I think the way that they incorporated new contemporary music into their own style of music, that was the game changer. I think that's what brought in huge masses of people, and commercially they were probably the most successful trio. I would think they were the most successful trio in history.
Great stuff. What sort of music's on your iPod then? Mr. Check.
Oh man.
Oh, I can.
Funny
Show
enough,
you.
we have the most eclectic taste of music that people don't even realize. I mean, yeah, sure, we sing opera and we listen to opera, but there's a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, what sort of thing?
Yeah, we've got ranging from Kanye on mine to Sam Smith to Beyonce to Katy Perry. Katy Perry.
They're just pictures, aren't they? They're not the movie.
A whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of random stuff. To System of a Down, to Metallica.
So many different, so many different things.
I listen to a lot of the old music, going back Gladys Knight, going through to Elvis Presley,
Kenny
Marty
Rogers.
Robbins, Kenny Rogers, Kenny Robbins. Thinking about Netherlands FIFA 15 at the moment. But and Amitai has a different taste, a lot of Jay-Z, just whatever mood you're in, really.
Yeah, I think it's good to have sort of like a spread of different types of music, just to keep things fresh, I guess.
Absolutely. So 2015 next year. If you could ask for anything in 2015 to happen for Sol3 Mio, what would you ask for?
Ooh, group 2015.
World domination.
Man, that's a good question. Man,
I think for me it would be for the three of us to stay healthy. I know next year is going to be pretty intense. Also going from the UK and also to America and back to New Zealand, it's quite taxing. A lot of flying and a lot of traveling, a lot of hotels, trains, you name it. And so I really just hope that we stay healthy and we're able to go from place to place and be as successful as we can be.
I think more in terms of a musical journey that was seen, we get more. We start to make to get our music out there and start getting more people into opera like we first started out. I think fulfilling this goal for me is kind of very important. You know, I've seen this from the start, and when we first formed the group, that was kind of my goal with the group, and it's kind of I really want to chase that down. I don't want people to see in and say, oh, they're just 3 random singers. You know, I want them to kind of see this new approach, because the only other group that did it was the 3 tenors. And I'm not comparing us to the 3 tenors, but I want to be in that same line where we're crossing both worlds successfully, rather than neglecting one and hopefully not neglecting the one that we first started off with, which I want to keep loyal to our musical standard in that sense.
Yeah, fantastic. But I mean, thanks a lot for your time. It's been excellent. But for somebody sort of just getting into Sol3 Mio, what 3 songs would you say, check these out, these 3 sum us up?
Sol3 Mio.
Oh, Sol3 Mio.
One.
The live version of Sol3 Mio. You have to come to the concert, obviously.
The live show.
Tickets if you go now.
The live show is completely. It's a completely different experience to the album.
Yeah.
I think that's a very valid point. I mean, the songs on the album, we literally, when we recorded it, we wanted to stay true to the songs, and so we left a lot of the comedy out, because we wanted to stay true to the music, obviously. But when it comes to the actual performance, it's totally different, like Amitai said, because we add in these different elements, and we add in our culture and our humor, and we see where the night takes us. So
I think my 3 would be Sol3 Mio, absolute Neapolitan classic, everyone knows that. Yellow Bird, because it's a nice contempt, yet still bridging into classical, and full-on classic core, which is Nessun. Those are my 3. If I was to give anyone a taste of the album, those 3.
That's fantastic. Well, hopefully you can give us a little blast in a second, but is there anything else you'd like to say to Music News watchers in the meantime?
Buy the album! You'll love it!
Thanks for all the support during this year. You know, we've come back and we've done a lot of promotion here in the UK, and I don't think any of this would have been possible if we didn't have the support of a lot of the media groups, our label Decca, and all the
people buying the
album. All the people buying the album as well.
Yeah,
so
all 5 of them. As I say, like to new people who have been spreading the word. Time to open their minds, open their ears, open their hearts, and just have a listen. I'm not saying to fully go out there and we're forcing it upon you, but just have a listen and see what you think. There is definitely a good mix in there, and there's something in there for everybody. So it's a good family style album.
Yeah, and the live show is completely different to the album. So when we have a tour, we will let you know when it's going to happen.
I will put all the links underneath this interview anyway. But thanks a lot for your time. Cheers.
No problem.
Pleasure.
All right, cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers, thank you. Three, two, one.
Hey, everybody!
Woohoo!